Welcome back to We Still Like Each Other, the podcast. I'm Travis.
And I'm Stephanie.
And this is the podcast where we show that the honeymoon stage can last forever.
And ever and ever.
Hey, baby.
Hey, Daddy.
Back at it again, just us two.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
So technically, it was 2 weeks ago? A week ago?
2 weeks?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks.
And that's the week we decided to take the week off.
We needed some us time.
Yeah. But let's be a little real.
Okay.
I needed a break.
Okay.
So you all know I had a baby at the end of December, and we've been nonstop. We've been going. And that weekend, I think my emotions were even more on 1,000 because it was like reflecting on our marriage, our anniversary weekend. We left River with your mom for 3 hours while we watched Batman. And it was the first time I was away from River. Even though it was 3 hours, it was the longest I've been away from him. So that day when we were going to record, I just felt too much pressure. I felt too overwhelmed. I was just like, I can't.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Right?
The toughest thing about that is me and you always discussing consistency. Like, this is going to be something because we're consistent and we have an amazing product. Mm-hmm. So it was a hard pill for me to swallow that week.
That we needed the week off. That I needed the week off.
But it was also, I guess, looking at it, the glass half full. A lot of people were missing us. Mm-hmm. It was like, where the fuck are you?
Yeah.
So that felt good. It was doing it week to week, back to back, and not basically having a moment to like smell the flowers.
Yeah. But I also want to always keep it real.
Mm. And
I feel like a lot of the reason why I have been overwhelmed as of late is because I've never not been employed this long. I put a lot of pressure on myself to constantly be productive. And then it's reflecting in the need to be so consistent with the podcast. So I feel like I needed that moment of like, the world isn't going to end if you take a break.
Yeah.
You can pick back up where you left off. It's not going to erase all of your hard work. And then having such a successful return, our last episode is doing numbers right now. We've gotten so much love, so much support. Shout out to Let's Chat, the podcast.
Yes.
Niecy Nash shared one of our clips. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was insane. I remember when it happened, I was like, baby, Niecy Nash just shared us. She's like, what?
I'm like, shared us? Like, she literally uploaded our video onto her page.
I remember when I saw it on my watch and it said Niecy Nash 1. And it didn't even click to me. We're so used to getting spam. So I'm just like, oh, here goes another spam. I look at all the requests, even if they go to the request box. Mm-hmm. And it was really fucking Niecy Nash. And I was like, oh, shit.
The world didn't end because we took a week off.
Yeah.
That was like what's the word I'm looking for?
Like the reminder or?
Not reminder, the reassurance that I needed, that like, it'll be okay. That doesn't mean take 4 or 5 weeks off, disappear and come back and, this is still our passion. It's a new passion of mine. And I want to give it my best, but I can't give it my best if I don't take rest when I really need it.
Yeah. And I'm happy you got that rest. I think we're better for it.
Yeah.
Even yesterday, we decided to, I guess full disclosure, this is going to be a little late.
Yeah.
But it's coming out Sunday.
Yeah.
Same day. But we took Saturday just to be couch potatoes.
Do nothing.
And it was probably one of the best days I've had in a while. Just even as a family.
Travis made me breakfast, y'all. He made scrambled eggs.
And there was no bad news to deliver.
He put onions, peppers, ham. It was like real breakfast.
We were I don't know what happened. It's funny because we've been married for 6 years. Mm-hmm. And I just had this epiphany in that moment, right?
Finally.
That we were having a discussion like, what do we eat? What do we eat? And normally those discussions would lead to us just Uber Eats, mm-hmm. or sometimes even worse, not eating, mm-hmm. and then just waiting to the next time or mm-hmm. lunch or dinner. And I just had this epiphany that let me just fucking make her something because it's going to make my life a lot better if she's fed and not asking me what she wants to eat. I'm a lot
6 years later.
I'm a lot less, what's the word I'm looking for? I like food, but your relationship with food is a lot different than mine.
I'm passionate about food.
I'm not like on your father's level where your father only eats for energy.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm like a little step above that.
Yeah.
But food genuinely makes you happy.
Yep.
So I decided
It's
in that
a mood
moment
booster.
to suck it up. I don't enjoy cooking, but I enjoy making you happy. So did my thing, Chef Curry with the pot, and whipped you up a breakfast burrito. And I think it was the foundation for the rest of the day.
Yep. We had such a good day. Just chill.
Yeah, for sure. So I will do that more often.
Thank you, Jesus. Don't give up, ladies. It might take 6-7 years, but oh my God. Like something so simple, but it really made my day. Like I feel like I thanked you for it like 100 times.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay.
Like this is all it takes?
But it's so funny because after when he was done, he goes, woof, I don't know how you stand so long in the kitchen to make scrambled eggs. I stand way longer, babe.
I'm speaking my truth.
Well, see, so maybe now you even appreciate me a little more.
No, for sure.
For what I do in
I
the
do
kitchen.
appreciate you because I know I don't enjoy doing it. And I'm sure there's days, because there are days you don't want to be in there, but you'll suck it up for us.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that.
No problem. All right, baby. Do you have a did you know for us today?
I do. And I'm so mad when JoJo and Daira were here. I dropped the ball. I could have had like a dope LGBTQ did you know? But we're going to have them back.
But honestly, I feel like that episode flowed so well.
Yeah.
Like
you had your laptop open, but we weren't really.
It was like very natural. It was a very open dialogue.
Yeah, sometimes,
we went off the script, but it was so good.
It's just speaking on them for a minute. Sometimes you just meet people and the chemistry is just on. Like I greeted them in the lobby and it was just like hugs. And from the moment they came in, it wasn't no awkwardness. I just felt like it was friends I haven't seen in a while. Yeah. So that was pretty dope. Kind of like a surreal feeling.
Yeah. That happens to me whenever I meet women that are tall. We're like, oh my God, you're tall too. Okay,
They were tall.
They were tall.
Even Daira was like, did you expect us to be this tall? But did you know? People in happy marriages tend to be more productive at work? Approximately $6 billion in revenue is lost by American businesses as a result of decreased worker productivity linked to marriage hardship. Employees in a happy marriage, in contrast, tend to increase a company's bottom line.
I 100% can see that. You know how they say happy wife, happy life? It could apply to your life in all aspects.
One thing I'll give you a lot of credit for, you will not bring things up while I'm at work, for the most part, depending on the seriousness of it. But you're like, I'll catch him when he gets home. And
I don't want to fuck up the bag.
But yeah, I have been in situations where you're just so stressed out at work. It's like, what are you saying right now? Or the other day I was in a meeting for 4 hours. I'm imagining myself having an argument with you and then adding a 4-hour meeting on that. That would
definitely.
So yeah, I definitely can see that.
Do you think that's a common problem in relationships? Like,
I think it comes with, there's a slight, you have to be really mature, especially if you don't see the relationship ending. Like there's a time and place for everything. I can bring this up when you're home and we can discuss it then. But if I'm texting you all these crazy things and I'm trying to focus on work, but then I see it's like, you fucking asshole popping up on my
You didn't take the trash out or like what?
I don't think that, because you text me pictures of the trash.
Yeah.
I don't take that.
But we don't argue about it. It's more like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I'm not like, you motherfucker, how dare. It's like more so like annoyance, but it's not an argument.
Yeah. I just think you really need to have a certain level of respect for your partner, especially when it comes to their employment, because that shit keeps us in here, keeps the lights on, literally.
Yeah. I feel like it might be an issue there's partners that kind of want to be in constant communication throughout the day. Like even while they're partners at work. I feel like you and I do a good job of like still kind of sort of communicating, but it's not like a constant, you know, like I know you're at work. I'm not expecting you to reply right away.
And I'll communicate with you when I can. And then if, let's say I go 2 to 3 hours, you're not tripping.
No.
So there's a balance. And
there's times you're like, oh, my bad, I've been busy. I'm like, oh, I didn't even realize it's been this much time.
So I can definitely see how that statistic is true. And I guess my best advice is be mindful of your partner's employment.
Honestly, this podcast is my biggest responsibility right now outside of our family. And I feel like even for me to do this well, we need to be okay. And the whole podcast is called We Still Like Each Other, right? So it'll be difficult to do this well if we're not vibing.
Yeah, imagine. It's like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. I'm hitting record. All right, welcome back.
Where the honeymoon stage never has to end. And you were
right,
like,
honey? And for some people, it's like that, you know. What's the movie? Is it Anchorman with Will Ferrell? Like they be cursing each other out. And then the lights go on, and then they're all...
him and his co-star?
Yeah. I don't want to be like that. Because then what's the point?
Definitely not. And I feel like even on our anniversary, I was like not sad. I don't want to say sad is the word, but too many things were going through my mind, like just in reflecting on our marriage and then the hormones, having a baby, and like this pressure of like celebrating an anniversary. Because of course I want to celebrate you and celebrate us, but it's also like we had a baby. Like I wasn't really ready. Like I did enjoy Batman. I don't know. I just was overwhelmed that weekend.
Speak on it.
Just like, for example, last year was 5 years. And I always felt like at year 5, we're going to go on this amazing vacation or do something big. And it's like COVID. It just was an awkward time. You had just gotten over COVID the month before.
We had to cancel Eli's birthday because of it.
Yeah, so like, I feel like all this pressure has been building up to like celebrate our anniversary. But it's like, why? We celebrate each other technically every week when we're on this show. And just day to day.
Yeah, that's one of the things I'm so happy about is that we aren't waiting for Valentine's Day, anniversaries, birthdays to show our love for one another.
Yeah. And also, we've kind of shifted what we value in terms of how we celebrate each other. So I don't need the flowers and the chocolate and those type of things to feel like it was our anniversary, to feel like it was Valentine's Day. Like we more so value quality time together, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know why I let it be like so much pressure around that day. And then it kind of overwhelmed me when it came time. Does that make sense?
Definitely. 100%.
But yeah. So the first thing I wanted us to do was basically write like a letter to each other for our anniversary. You could kind of think of it like vows, like rewriting our vows, kind of.
Oh, that's how we're taking it? Okay.
Or maybe like a love letter. I don't know. How do you think you want to take it?
I think love letter would probably be easier.
A letter?
Yeah.
Okay. So initially I wanted us to pre-write it before recording. But I was like, that's too much pressure. We don't have that much time. We're busy. Let's write this out. Give ourselves a time limit. Do you want to do 10 or 15 minutes?
Let's do 10 for the sake of time.
All right. So we're going to take we're going to take 10 minutes to write an anniversary letter to each other. So y'all can wait. No, I'm kidding. We'll fast forward it for the fucking, podcast. But 10 minutes.
Whew.
It takes, it puts pressure, but we can't be fake.
Okay.
So let me know when you start the timer.
Let me hit the timer. Fuck, this is intense. All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right.
Ten seconds.
Right on the dot. I got to reread it.
Oh my God. I didn't reread mine.
I reread mine right up until the bell rang.
That was nerve-wracking. Yeah, mine was like
Is yours funny or is it serious?
I don't know. It turned into it was like a love letter, and then it turned into vows. I don't know. I was all over the place. Who's going first?
I'm scared.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Okay.
One match.
One match?
Yeah.
And if you win, you go first?
The other person goes first.
So
you want to go
win,
first? You want to go first?
No.
Okay, so
whoever wins goes first?
Second.
Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors says shoot. Rock, paper, scissors says shoot. You first.
I'm first. Fuck my life. Okay. Happy anniversary, baby.
Happy anniversary.
Daddy, 6 years down. At times, it feels like it has been so much longer. Other times, it feels like we just met. Maybe it feels like forever because our lives are so intertwined. I don't enjoy remembering my life before you entered it. Maybe it still feels fresh because I still like you. You are my best friend, and not in the obvious husband and wife way. I literally enjoy your company. You make me laugh every day. I can be my authentic self around you. I never pretend to be someone else, someone I'm not when I'm around you. Yet, you push me to be a better version of myself. I've changed a lot over the past 6 years, not because I wasn't enough, but because your love, your compassion have been my anchors, my stepping stones, my guides to be a better me. I can't imagine my bed without your warmth. I won't ever get tired of making sure they have a good chicken option before we go to a restaurant. I look forward to watching you evolve as a father every day. Remember, as much as you've allowed me to be a better me, I will always be here to do the same for you. The sky's the limit for us as a unit and for you as a man. Whatever you can dream, I will be here to encourage you to make it a reality. You're my husband for as long as we still like each other, and I hope that is forever and ever and ever.
Oh, you did good.
Did I?
Yeah, you killed that.
Love you.
Love you more. Here we go.
Okay, go.
Happy anniversary, my love. I want to thank you for making me the luckiest and happiest man for the past 6 years. You have given me so much to celebrate. Allowing me to be a father to your firstborn has changed me in ways I couldn't have imagined. And now, almost 8 years after bringing Eli into this world, you've given me our potato river. I never saw myself married, and now I can never not see myself married to you. You are my best friend, and it shows in how our time spent together is never too much time. I want to bring you everywhere, and I know that will never change. You are my ultimate accomplishment. I wear you proudly. I want us to continue to build on an already strong foundation and choose to pick one another every day that we wake up. I'll never take your love for granted because I don't want to be without you or my family that we've built. Thank you for your patience with me, even when I've been difficult to deal with. I promise to continue to open up my palate for you, even when the food is way out of my comfort. I promise to love you on those days it's hard to love yourself. I promise to respect you and honor us even when you're not around. I promise to grow with you in a way that will make our children want what we have. Our love story is far from perfect, but I will continue to show you that it's worth the time and effort that we've invested into it. Here's to forever. I love you so much. Let's have some more babies.
Oh my God, yours was so cute. I love you.
I love you more.
That was good. Yeah. I'm like a little teary-eyed. Yours was so good. You've always been good at these.
I love you.
I love you more. I feel like you always used to write me cute, like, things. Which is why, like, the gifts, we don't really value the gifts anymore. I feel like this is so cute. Thank you, baby.
Thank you.
More babies. Okay. Oh, all right. So to continue the anniversary special, we're going to answer some questions.
Okay.
All right. So the first question is, what is your favorite memory from our marriage?
Ooh, favorite memory. Damn. I don't know why this is coming to mind, but maybe because we just spoke about it, but the Weekend concert.
Oh, that's a big That's a big one.
Yeah. And, you know, we both loved the weekend a lot. And we had amazing seats. It was just like we were in a trance. I think you smoked a little sunshine. And, you know, it's just one of those nights, you know, we had a babysitter and we just got to like really show our love for one another.
I'm a sucker for live music, if you don't know. Like, something about hearing someone you love, like, live. I even like listening to bands when they're covering songs that I know. Like, I like live music. Like, something about the sound in my bones. It's kind of like close to food, you know? So I do think that's like a very core memory of our marriage. And it made like our love for the weekend so much stronger.
Yeah. What about you?
I was thinking Disney World, like that whole trip, because
it popped up in my memories recently.
Because it was Eli's birthday, so it's been coming up around this time. I feel like coming from the hood, like, you know, you don't know that many people that go to Disney World. My mom did get to take me when I was 11 with her best friend, but, you know, the circumstances when I had Eli, like, I didn't think I'd be able to take him to Disney World on his 5th birthday, you know, like, and it was so special to me, like, that we were able to do that for him. And we had a good time. Yeah. Like, even us as adults, like, I feel like it sounds corny, but like Disney World makes you dream. Like, you're like, oh my God, the sky's the limit, because Disney World is such a grand thing.
Yeah, and no knock against anyone who does this, but we were even able to spring for actually being on Disney. You know, I think I've been to Disney once, and we had to like stay a little bit away and drive there. It's a whole nother experience staying on the resort.
So we stayed on a Disney resort, so we didn't need a car because there was like shuttles and everything.
And I think you said it best. It felt like an accomplishment.
Yes.
And
it might sound silly. Some people might think like that's very materialistic, but for me, like, I was so proud of myself that we were able to do that for him, you know? And he might not even remember it. It was his 5th birthday. He might think like whatever, but as a mom, like, it just felt so amazing. And I knew I couldn't have done it without you as well, your support. And I feel like we looked at that as parents and we're like, yo, we need to give our kids X, Y, and Z. Like, it was just very motivating all around. Yeah, and it being so fucking expensive, we're like, we need to get the bag. So that was a big memory for me.
For sure.
All right. Next question. We got married really, really fast. Is there something you learned about me after we got married?
Learned about you. I guess one thing I learned about you, and till this day it still comes up, everyone's always reminding me how much Stephanie has changed. I don't think I fully grasped this person that you were before me. Mm-hmm. And, you know, we've had discussions. But yeah, I would say that was the biggest thing. Luckily, I never got to know that person you were.
Yeah. I wasn't terrible all around. I feel like...
I think the way I interpret it is just like maybe you had like a lot more anger.
Yeah. I was more easily triggered. Like, I was very defensive. I was a very defensive person.
And it's crazy because everyone watching right now has listened to like episode 1 and 2. I've put you through some things. And even back then, I still didn't quite see this person that everyone was saying that you were. So, I mean...
I credit Eli to calming me down. I feel like at that point, nothing was worth risking leaving him alone in this world. Yeah. I just knew I had to tone it the fuck down.
I always enjoyed when you would say, when you were still teaching, I got a city job.
I got a city job. Yeah. Like, everything. I ain't risking my city job. Yeah. That was me with Eli. Like, I got a kid. I ain't going to jail. I can't hurt nobody, or I don't want anybody to hurt me. Yeah. Like, there's somebody crazier out there than I am, you know? Even with the car, I'd be like, don't honk at that person. I'm even like...
especially, you know, we'll sit down, we'll watch the news, we'll get some clips, And there's a lot going on, just like violence. And was it today or maybe yesterday, sitting at a red light, turned green, and I'm super patient because I have you in my head. But it's like, all right, honk. And then I'm thinking to myself, what if this person just comes out and kills me right now?
Yeah.
And it's crazy that we have to think like that, especially nowadays. But I think you have definitely allowed me to be more patient, or made me more patient.
Yeah. And it's crazy because you're so calm and chill, but then you also have those triggers, like,
Yeah, I don't know.
you're like an impatient driver. Not too bad. Like, it's not scary, but I feel like I've helped you be less of an impatient driver.
Yeah.
For me, for something that I didn't know, not that I didn't know, because I feel like I knew, but maybe I didn't realize how much of a
Sex fiend I was?
no.
Like, I knew.
I didn't realize how much it was gonna like affect us. I feel like you have some selfish tendencies. I grew up with like a lot of siblings and, you know, with not a lot of money, and we're very like giving. Like, my friends will come after school. I was actually just talking in my group chat, my middle school friends, like, they love being at my house. And like, when my growing up, yeah. So like, people would come into my house and it's like my fridge was for everybody. Like, anybody came over, it was never like, you know how some people have like, these are my snacks and this is my soda, or I can't touch that, because we didn't grow up that way. And it was very like giving. And I felt like you were very spoiled in the sense that what was yours was yours.
In defense of myself, I think there's such huge gaps between me and my brothers.
Exactly. Like, it wasn't like you were purposely spoiled. It's just the way.
Yeah. So my oldest brother is 6 years older, and then my younger brother is
13 years younger, I think.
Is it 13? God damn. Yeah. So there's a time period where it almost feels like you're an only child, almost. And yeah, I guess it kind of carried over into adulthood.
Yeah. So like, I can't even think of an example, but if I was very like open with giving my time to someone or helping someone, you would kind of side eye me. I'm like, this isn't inconveniencing you for me to help X, Y, and Z person or do this. Like, you would kind of cringe a little. Like,
really? I'm curious as an example of that.
I can't even think of one, but I remember it being a problem.
But I will say, I think I am more giving.
Yes.
6 years into our marriage.
Absolutely.
Especially with our loved ones, friends and family.
Yeah. Like, even anybody who's here, you're like, oh, I'm going to drive them home. Early in our relationship, babe, you would not be that like.
But also, we live in the Bronx.
Yeah, parking.
And I have been more open to it since we do have a parking spot now. But it is also possible that year one, Travis would have been like, all right, have a good night.
Yeah, you didn't drive me home that first night we met.
You weren't a friend or family at that point. We just made out.
But I will say that's something that, like, not that I didn't know, but I guess was an issue earlier on in our marriage. But we've kind of, you've grown.
Call it growth.
Next question. Do you have any regrets related to how quickly things went in the beginning? Like, would you have pushed back moving in, or pushed back the engagement, or pushed back the marriage?
Regrets. I guess one of my biggest regrets is just kind of obviously the drama, but even more so than the drama, like we were able to get, there was a time where like you kind of knew what was going on to an extent, and there was like too much back and forth. I wish I took that moment where I was honest with you and just went with it. Like, all right, we've gotten over this hurdle of me telling you, like, I've kind of been on and off with this girl, but I'm so in love with you. Let's rock out. But instead, it was like, all right, now I'm still unsure. I think we were living.
So let's clarify that, because I feel like I can't remember if in episode 1 we clarified that part.
Okay.
So I know we talked about the big blow up, like us finding out, us kind of setting you up, that whole big drama.
So before that, there was a time where I did come to you and be honest. I don't know what triggered it. Let's just say for the sake of this conversation, I was just feeling honest. But
you came to me and what did you say?
Basically the truth about everything going on with my ex. Like I've still been in communication. We're still kind of together. I didn't really break up how I should have. And then you
remember what I said?
You were basically like, so what do you want to do?
Yeah, I was like, are you telling me this because now we have to stop seeing each other? Or are you telling me this because now you're like, oh shit, this is serious and I want us to continue and I need to break this off?
So I was like, no, I want to be with you.
I couldn't even believe my reaction afterwards.
Yeah.
Right?
That was pretty mature of you.
I was just like, okay, so what are we doing?
So at that point we had that conversation and I was feeling good. And I was like, all right, I got to really break things off with my ex. Mm-hmm. So I met
like
up.
you said you would.
I can't remember. It's been such a long time. But I broke things off with her and we were good. We were even living together. Like I moved in with you. Mm-hmm. And then I guess I felt bad about how I ended things with her. And I decided to meet up with her and we had a conversation. It was in a public place. And even that was a good closure. Like we cried or she cried and thanked me for for coming to talk to her. Felt really good. But something, I don't know, it was tough for me in that moment because here was someone I was looking at that I've been having this back and forth with for almost 8 years. And it put a lot of doubt in my mind. Mm-hmm. And then that's when everything spiraled into what happened in episode 1. Mm-hmm. So I say all that to say, I wish none of that ever happened. I wished it was the conversation of me being honest with you, then us living together, and maybe even having that closure conversation with her. But then that was it. Mm-hmm. Everything else, although very entertaining, it's always, I never want anyone to listen to this and think, oh, you have to go through some shit with your man in order to have like a really solid.
Like, we don't want to normalize like infidelity or.
Because there are men out there who will love and respect you and not cheat on you. And that's normal too. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be, oh, I got to
struggle first.
Exactly. And I'm grateful that you stuck it out with me, but I don't want to normalize it. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So what about you?
I don't have any regrets about how quickly things went. I feel like if all that drama wouldn't have happened, I wouldn't even mind if things moved quicker. Honestly, like I feel like when you know, and I knew, like I felt it in my bones, like something was there. And so far it's proven to be right, like we genuinely enjoy each other. And I say that a lot, but in my previous 2 relationships, because let's say I've only been in 2 other like serious relationships before you. And something I noticed is that it would get to a point where every little thing that we did annoyed each other. Like it would be very like, example. So the day we decided to take the week off from the podcast, you went to Target.
Okay.
To get coffee or some other stuff. But then you had a question about the coffee and that set me off. Like I got so mad that you called me about this coffee, right?
Before you continue,
okay.
I want to let you all know how blindsided I was by this. Because that morning, I think we were still planning on recording.
Yeah.
And we needed coffee. We have a different coffee machine now. So I had to go to Target. And I can't remember. I think I needed something else. But the main goal of going to Target was to get coffee. Mm-hmm. You take Eli with you. Mm-hmm. Me and Eli go to Target. We get there. I go to the one a little further because I don't want to pay for parking. Go in there. And their selection of the coffee was very minimal. Mm-hmm. So I'm calling you like, I want to
What should
explain.
I
I want to
get?
explain the situation to you because I don't want to show up here as any man knows or anybody in a relationship knows. You don't want to show up without consulting your partner. And then they're like, why didn't you just call me? We could have figured this out together. So I call, no answer. I'm like, the fuck? There's no way she's asleep. Call again, no answer. Call again, no answer. Called one more time, and then I got a text, I don't want to talk right now. I was like, what the fuck? And I'm literally like, what the fuck did I do? Did I say something? Did I kiss her without, before I left? I'm just running through all these scenarios in my head. And then when I finally get you on the phone, attitude galore. And I think
And this isn't our norm.
No, this is, that. It was weird as fuck. And I think you said something slick, like you can't figure out the coffee without me or some shit like that.
Exactly. So I brought this up. He told y'all the whole fucking story, but all right. To say that in previous relationships, that will become the norm, where like every little thing bothered me. Like, you can't figure out which coffee to get without asking me. Like, what the fuck? So in previous relationships, when we knew it should have been over, was when that started to happen on a consistent basis. Like, every little thing you do is just annoying. Like, even when I send you, like, you forgot to take the trash out, it's more so like
humor.
Yeah, I'm not like, this motherfucker let the trash, like, it's not in that sense that I'm so upset with you. Like, you're still my partner, someone I love, and I would never want to like be so angry with you about petty shit. You know what I mean? I forgot where this was even going. So we were talking about something we would change. I don't remember where I was going with this. What was the question? Something I would change early on, and then I said, no, I wish we went faster. The fuck? Where was this even going? But anyway, we don't have any of that, which I love. So I knew it from the beginning. Like, I had that sense that like you were my person, and I continue to agree with that.
You were saying how things in your previous two relationships would annoy you, like little things. And that didn't exist here.
That didn't exist here. Like, I kind of just, and if I did notice, like if I had a moment, which we're human, like that day after our anniversary, like that kind of pissed me off, but I was like, whoa. And it wasn't personal. It was more so I was overwhelmed by my feelings of our anniversary, by feelings of like, is the house clean enough? Are the kids taken care of? Should I be making money? It was just a whole bunch of things that like, I was like, Travis' task is to get coffee. Why does he need my help right now? And I blew my lid for no fucking reason, but it's not our norm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay, that probably derailed. Y'all gonna probably listen like, what the fuck is she talking about? I forgot the question, but anyway. So the next question was kind of, if you could go back and change something. That was kind of in your last response, but we were talking about the beginning of a relationship. Could you think of another time or something you could change?
This is kind of good one. We have been having a lot of conversations about moving. And with moving comes finances. So I do wish that we were in a better place financially to make some of the moves that we want to make as of late. Yeah. We've had so many money conversations over the years, and we should be at a better place. We should definitely be at a better place. I am grateful for those conversations because we could be way worse without those conversations. But I do wish we've been more consistent, more disciplined, dedicated to achieving a goal. Like, we can't blame it on no one but us. We have had situations where we've been set up nicely to succeed, and although we weren't always in charge of, or we weren't always what's the word I'm looking for? You can't control human emotions. And I think you know what I'm talking about. But so we had to make moves that were best for our family, and it wasn't always the best financial decision. So I say all that to say, I just wish we took those conversations more seriously, especially like at this point of where we are right now with wanting to get out the Bronx and give our family a better situation.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like even then, everything happens for a reason. I feel like one of the reasons we waited so long to have another kid is because we wanted to set up our finances a little bit better, right? And although they aren't where we want them to be, you know, like we paid for my master's degree in cash. Like, you know, was to not have an additional student loan for my master's degree. Like, we got to be proud of that. And waiting for the right moment, it wouldn't be River. It wouldn't be him. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything happens for a reason. And we just got to do the best we can now, moving forward, knowing that this is kind of a regret, not letting it continue to be a regret in 5 more years or in 6 more years.
Yeah.
I wonder, would I change anything?
Change anything
in our marriage? Anything that's happened? I don't think so.
No, I think every situation we've been through, even failed attempts at being in a throuple, have shown us just things our non-negotiables when it comes to those type of situations. Yeah, there's nothing I would change. Everything has been a learning experience.
Yeah. I kind of do have a regret from that last one. I feel like I was in a position because I had just started going back to school that I wouldn't have much control. And I feel like I struggle with giving up control in certain situations. And I feel like a big reason why it failed is because I was just like, I need to be there in the beginning of this relationship more. And I don't regret choosing, because I thought what would end up happening if I try to give the relationship a fair shot was I would have dropped out of school. So I was like, no, I've dropped out of college before. Like, I'm back in. We have a plan. I can't. So I felt like I was choosing me in that moment.
When it didn't have to be like that.
Exactly. But I feel like what the real thing was, I was insecure. I felt like if I wasn't in it, I was going to lose my marriage or whatever. When the truth is, everything could have I could have went to school and had the relationship if I didn't let my ego get in the way. So I do have a little regret about that. But again, I still think everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I feel like I never told you that.
No. Breaking news.
Breaking news. Okay, so what is the most rewarding part of our marriage?
Ooh.
Or of being married?
I like the first question.
Okay.
I'm married to my best friend.
Okay.
And I know it sounds cheesy, and I know a lot of people say it, but are they really living their raps? I think I am. And I said it in my little 10-minute letter that, you know, you are the person I want to be around the most. I'm not itching to go to work to be away from you, or like, oh, I need a break, or, you know, and it could just be me as my personality, but I don't need to go out with the fellas to decompress. That means a lot. A lot of people can't say that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm married to my best friend. And throughout the years, I feel like you've grown to love my dark humor or at least, you know, accept it as a part of me.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, we've grown together, and I'm appreciative of you for that.
You're welcome. For me, most rewarding part of being married, I feel like life is fucking hard. Like, these past 2 years, life has been hard for everybody. Like, pandemic. We're in a war right now. Well, technically we're not, but you know, with social media now, we're in it because we see it. It feels like we're there. Yeah. And not doing it alone, I feel like is the biggest reward. Like,
I could imagine doing COVID alone.
And a lot of people did.
That shit is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, and, you know, we've discussed this many times, but the fact that I had you during COVID, during quarantine, whew, like literally
We
saved
kept each other sane.
That's what I was gonna say. Saved my mind.
When we went how many months without seeing anyone except the people in our house, you know, just us two and Eli for months. And if it was just me and Eli or just me, you know, like having a partner, like I would never take that for granted ever again.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's rewarding, like just having someone by your side, like legit, you know, because you have your family, right? But your family's intended, like y'all grow up together, but then you kind of have your own lives, you know? And yeah, they're there for you. You could count on them, but you still kind of build your own life. And I'm proud of the family we've built together.
No, that's for sure. I think that's one of the most difficult parts about becoming an adult is sometimes the distance between people you've grown up with, cousins, aunts, uncles. And then you have to basically find your own family, and that could be scary as fuck. I'm grateful I found you, because it's scary out there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, damn. So, we got each other.
We got each other. So the last two questions, they're similar. Basically, 5 years ago, did you see us where we are now? That's the first part.
5 years ago, where were we living? Was it in that house or in the...
Yeah.
Was it the house?
I think so, yeah.
Fuck. I don't know. So 5 years ago, if we were in that house, that shitty fucking house, could I have seen us here? Hell no. I didn't know what the future held. And maybe that's a little part of my problem. That I'm too...
You don't look forward
to it in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But I love where we are now. I couldn't imagine any other way.
You know what I like about thinking about that time in that shitty house? It still felt like a home.
So, okay. This is how I know it was pretty dope. I used to live in Long Island when I met you. And I lived in like a semi-luxury garden-style apartment complex thing. They had a lounge and a pool and all this a gym, cool stuff. I had whatever, it was dope. And I took my ass to the Bronx every day to go to the hood and be with you, and that shit felt better than being in Long Island. And that's a testament.
Get you a Bronx girl.
And that's a testament to the space that you curated with what you were given. Like that speaks volumes, that the fact that I was waking up and hopping in my car to come to that, whereas most people would be like, the fuck? Like I used to, you know the type of hood setting I'm talking about, when you have to like ask people to, excuse me, I'm trying to get into my apartment.
Because the stoop is covered with
exactly.
people. Yeah.
But
when we stepped foot in the apartment,
it was home.
It was home.
Yeah.
That's true. I always say that, like, if I made that home, I could make that comfortable, we could do anything together. And I feel like just having each other too was key.
I think even in saying that as a reminder to the situation we're in right now, we could move mountains together if we put our minds to it.
Absolutely.
So,
and we've been half-assed in certain things. Like if we really are disciplined, like literally the sky's the limit, as cheesy as that sounds.
Yeah. So we have to remember that.
Yeah.
What about you? 5 years ago?
I feel like 5 years ago, I saw our life the way it was before I got pregnant. Like, I got my degree, I'm working in my career, and we're just grinding. I thought we would have just kept saving money. Next thing would have been a house and traveling more, and just doing that grind. You know, I thought I would have become a teacher and retired a teacher. I guess the one thing that I didn't see was having a baby while we weren't financially prepared for it. And by financially prepared, I mean the way I wanted to be prepared, you know, like this crazy emergency fund and, you know, whatever, like this ideal life that I had in my mind. So that's different. But So right before April, right before finding out I was pregnant with River, our life kind of seemed like what I expected it to be. That makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
So now let's look into the future, which is hard for you to do. Where do you see us in 5 years?
In 5 years, I see us more babies.
More babies. Babies? Baby.
Mommy. I say baby. One more. At least one more. I see me getting snipped after that baby.
Okay.
It's very detailed 5 years.
Let's talk about that real quick. Okay. I don't know if we have before, but a lot of the times women, when they're done having kids, they get their tubes tied or whatever. But we've decided, like, I'm the one who was on birth control for so many years. Like, I don't want to do anything else to my body.
And I could be mistaken, but I think the procedure is a lot less intrusive.
Yes. So it's way easier for a man to get snipped. There's less of a invasive surgery.
And I have family members who have done it, and, you know, they're still walking fine.
How's their sex life?
I have to ask. I'll call them after this.
Because we can't risk that.
Like, I know, like, off the top of my head, I know 3 family members who have done it, and they all, you know, their wives are still smiling. So hopefully it's because of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this podcast is going to be on another level. I do really see that. I think we started something, like, it's bigger than us now.
Yeah.
In a good way. Like, we've definitely tapped into something that apparently was needed. So I see big things for us in this space. And, you know, I just see our family, you know, taking the time to, I don't know, love on one another, see some vacations. I see a home. Yeah.
Sounds nice.
Manifest. What about you?
I agree. I feel like I see the same thing. I feel like our lives are so intertwined that we kind of have very similar goals. I'm curious to see, like, in what other spaces the podcasting gets us, right? Because I don't think it's just this. I think this is the beginning. Like, I wonder if I'm going to use my degree to a different capacity now because of the podcast, right? I wonder if you in tech are going to be working, you know, like what you do for us in the podcast, is that going to apply to something else, something bigger? Will we work with, like, a network that we love and then, you know, grow? Maybe would we start other podcasts, you know?
Yeah.
So I see this as, like, the very beginning of something really big. So I feel like in 5 years, we'll see, like, some of the fruits of that tree that we're planting now. Yeah, maybe one more kid. I agree with that. I feel like we did the 8 years apart. Maybe now to have 2 that are kind of close together.
Yeah.
Would be nice. But finances, not that I think you need a ton of money for kids. Like, kids need love and support, and, you know, we'll be okay. But space will be kind of tough to have another kid in this space right now.
And the goal for me, at least in our lives, is to be better than okay.
Yes.
So, you know, sometimes we are forced into situations where we need to kind of
be okay with
what we have.
Enough.
But I want, if it's up to me, you know, I want to give us a little more. You know, I think we have been on a constant progression with our life. Like, if our marriage or our lives together were a chart, it would kind of look like this.
Yeah.
Maybe a little, and then.
Yeah.
So I want to keep that going.
Definitely.
My love.
Daddy.
My wife.
Daddy.
Mi vida. Do you still like me?
I still like you.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Peace, y'all.
Bye.